Ladies and gentlemen, and this is Pleasure Worlds explained by an Australian Warhammer 40k lore by the channel Majorkill. Yeah, I was gonna do Lutin09's Emperor of Men video, but I didn't have much of time, so I'm like, what the hell, let's do a major kill video, because lots of people have been telling me to do this. Apparently this guy's funny, I guess, as far as people are telling me. So yeah, it's gonna be something. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction. There's a link in the description. Check out the cards or different places with the end cards, and yeah, let's watch it.
G'day guys and gal. You've probably heard of a pleasure world, mostly because the word pleasure gets you stiffer than a lizard left in the Aussie sun. Also because One Mind Syndicate made a couple extremely clickbaity videos on the topic that aren't very accurate. No, you will not find nuns getting BDSM'd on these worlds. And it's definitely not just the Slaneshi cum pit. But I can't bash the man too much. Sex sells, and it obviously attracted hordes of horny prepubescent virgins. Regardless, One Mind Syndicate trying to teach you about alleged sex worlds just doesn't seem right. It'd be like your uncle showing you how to put on a condom. I mean, you do know that pleasure worlds are also called garden worlds. Sure, a garden also has a lot of bush, but the first thing I think about when you say garden world isn't sweaty nun BDSM. The Imperium would have no issue exterminating the shit out of these worlds if it was infested with heresy. Before we get started, I've crunched the numbers, and despite only having 2% of my audience being chicks, or at least putting their gender down as chicks, that's still nearly 5,000 gals. So I'm thinking, how, with a clear conscience, do I promote the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped? Like, if I talk about how nice and clean shaven my balls are, or how I haven't nicked Majorkill Jr. for the entire time I've been using this, I feel like girls would just get so jealous. But then I realized, silly Majorkill, girls have balls as well. So I am happy to tell my entire audience that the Perfect Package 4 is essential for each and every one of you. The lawnmower is the star of the show, but the ball deodorant is a godsend for eliminating stanky dick, and the ball reviver, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what that actually does yet, but I still spray it downstairs. Maybe it'll come in handy if I ever need to perform necromancy or some shit. If you want to get in on the clean shaven, nice smelling fun, then use my link and code Majorkill below. It will get you 20% off your order and free international shipping, as well as a free toiletries bag and a very comfy pair of undies. That's pretty bloody good if you ask me. Cheers to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Today we'll go over a pleasure world, what they are, who visits, and yes, we will talk about how prolific orgies are on them. Let's get into it. The Imperium, despite
So I guess this is about Eldar worlds apparently, right? Because he said those other channels who created videos about them are kind of hinting at that. And what is those other channels? Are they his friends or something, or he's just trolling the other channels? I mean,
despite being super racist, is a very diverse place. There are a multitude of different types of planets that humans can live on. These range from reasonably pleasant civilized worlds to overcrowded hive worlds, all the way down to death worlds, which, yeah, use your fucking imagination. Out of all these worlds, by far the nicest are the pleasure worlds, also known as paradise worlds or garden worlds. They are characterized by their reasonably low populations, little to no taxes paid to the Imperium, and abundance of important influential people who want to take a break from fighting space bugs to death here and there. Most of them are landlocked and potentially even population controlled to ensure that it doesn't eventually just become another shithole in the Imperium. The word pleasure, much to every simp's dismay, isn't synonymous with sexual activity. I take pleasure in sitting on a beach on a nice day. I take pleasure in beating some sweaty Korean in Age of Empires 3, and I take pleasure in hooking Tracer as Roadhog in Overwatch. So for the most part, pleasure worlds are basically just one big world full of tourism. So who gets to visit these pleasure worlds? Well, they do have a decent amount of workers and servitors there to cater to the world's visitors. Someone's got to blend that pina colada, you know. Beyond them, members of the Navigator houses, which are those dudes that look like Tien from Dragon Ball Z if he had bone marrow cancer, frequently visit these worlds. After all, their job is to literally peer into hell, so it's no surprise that they could use a break here and there. Planetary governors are also allowed to visit because they're rich as fuck. High-ranking members of the ecclesiarchy have access. After all, hanging out with choir balls all day can be exhausting. High-ranking members of the ecclesiarchy also have access. After all, hanging out with choir boys all day can be exhausting. It's not really set in stone who can and can't come. Imperial commanders, high-ranking administratum members, and even rogue traders can come and go. If you're in the top, 0.01%, you can come. That's the gist of it. As such, pleasure worlds are the ultimate place for networking. Rogue traders...
Yeah, so basically pleasure worlds are just vacation places, right? Some planets who are really, I guess, nice, landlocked, and, I guess, just perfect condition and everything, so that people can basically visit. Doesn't necessarily has to do with anything like BDSM or anything, but he said. I thought it was going to be like, Dark Elder type of shit. Not Dark Elder, Eldar type of shit, right? Some Eldar world. No, this has nothing to do with the Eldar, apparently. Yeah, it's just, garden worlds, basically, where people can visit and things.
Can talk to some of the most influential commanders over a massage and some Mai Tais. Members of the ecclesiarchy can gain friends with the administratum simply by being on the other end of a spit. Here is where the sex part of the pleasure worlds comes in. You've got a world that's barely regulated, out of public view, and full of rich dudes and dudettes on holidays. A lot of stressed out rich dudes and dudettes. Obviously, people are gonna fuck. They're gonna do drugs, they're gonna have orgies, but fuck man, Slaanesh doesn't own the patent to MDMA. Just because you double team some chick with your boy doesn't mean you're a sinner or that Slaanesh is gonna eat that ass. It just means you're living your best life. There is no rule in the Imperium about not being allowed to have mad sex. Yes, sometimes this does go too far, and there have been hidden Slaaneshi pleasure cults on pleasure worlds, but these are extremely minor and unimportant. Like, there has never been a successful chaos uprising on a pleasure planet, if any uprising at all. All pleasure worlds that have been destroyed by external forces, i.e. a Tyranid High Fleet. To make matters harder for Slaanesh...
But isn't Slaanesh is supposed to get, attracted by not just some your normal, I guess, sexual activities? It must be really somewhat hardcore and fucked up, right? That's how Slaanesh was created in the first place, right? Lots of debauchery and shit from Eldars. So something like that, because otherwise in the end, all other chaos gods represent some type of emotion here and there, some type of, indulgence here and there. So it's not like anybody who indulges in certain areas somehow is going to attract chaos here and there. That's not how things work. Yeah.
Inquisitors also need a break here and there, and can kick back on pleasure worlds. Pretty sure if an Inquisitor was halfway through an orgy, and some bitch suddenly grew a crab hand and railed a kilo of cocaine in one go, he would be like, bang! You know what I mean? Just because a world is given a bit more freedom doesn't mean the Imperium won't curb stop the living shit out of it if it gets out of line. Pleasure worlds aren't just cheeky Bali getaways for the rich and powerful. They often host native populations that are uniquely gifted in very niche areas. See, in the grim darkness of 40k, people are fucking stressed out. There is a lot of shit to deal with. It gives them a very narrow-minded, pessimistic perspective. However, on Paradise worlds, shit is chill. People can explore their feelings and talents with an open mind. There is no hard labor, so they can dedicate their life to something beyond war. As such, natives of pleasure worlds are readily recruited by the Imperium to act as envoys and diplomats. They are so chill that they can literally change the mood of everyone in a room. Imagine people from North Korea meeting a less brain-dead version of a surfer from Noosa. Other natives of pleasure worlds dedicate their life to enlightenment and martial arts. Hence, if you're looking for some Shaolin monks in 40k, this is the place to find them. The point is that a pleasure planet is so different from the rest of the Imperium that they create different types of people that can be a huge asset. How common are these special worlds? Well, pretty fucking uncommon.
Yeah, that is so good, right? And it also makes sense. I mean, the Imperium is so fucked up, war and darkness and shit. But this garden worlds, basically pleasure worlds, they have the natives who are calm, collected, and basically happy in a way, right? Well, not fucking depressed because, it's not everything about war. So, Imperium basically recruits them as diplomats and shit because, wherever they go, they are happy and they emit this kind of aura feeling like, okay, they are not some dark and basically depressed people like most people in the Imperium would be because of wars and shit.
despite exporting talented individuals, they are kinda useless in the grand scheme of things. In times of crisis, they don't have armies or factories to make weapons with. The planetary conditions for a pleasure world are also very unique. If it's a super verdant world with great weather, it'll usually get turned into an agri world for large-scale food production. It's only when the world is filled with insane natural wonders as well as poor climate for food growing that they would allow it to become a pussy pad. We only really know about just over a dozen of them, with nearly half of those already wiped out. The Rapture was a paradise world that got eaten by a splinter fleet of High Fleet Leviathan. Calithian was a former Exonite world turned pleasure world that got curb stomped by some Cornite demons. Erudice got bombed by the forces of Nurgle, which never ends well, whilst Dawnbreak was attacked and retaken by the Elder. I say retaken, as quite a few pleasure worlds used to be maiden worlds. Maiden worlds being planets terraformed by the Elder thousands of years ago to be very nice and lush. With the remnants of the Elder Empire scattered, many of these maiden worlds were abandoned, then taken by the Imperium, because they're just so damn nice. Occasionally, the Elder will massacre some unsuspecting humans on these worlds because they're salty about how fucked on their race has gotten, which is a point of major friction between the two factions. Like 9 out of 10 times when the Elder randomly attack a human world, it's because it used to be a maiden world.
Damn.
I'm actually really surprised that One Mind Syndicate was able to pump out 2 16-minute videos on this topic, because there is fuck all lore about pleasure worlds. Like, I've basically included every bit of lore I was able to scour across multiple sources.
I love that, how elders basically attack these worlds. Everybody's like, oh, elders are attacking our world. Elders like, asshole, those are our planets. We created them, you just took it over. Humans like, yeah, but it's not our fault. You basically fucked your way to basically fucked your entire species by creating slowness and I guess killing 90% of your entire population. It's not our fucking fault. So basically there's a war because of that.
Sources, and this video would be lucky to clock 10 minutes. I may be full of shit and occasionally get the lore wrong, but at least I don't waste your time by bloating the ever-living shit out of my content. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1.
Yeah, this was a small video by Majorkill, I guess. Yeah, so this is why people are telling me to, I guess, react to this guy because it's really damn funny, right? Because this is the first channel I came across who actually explains Warhammer lore, you know, in a jokingly manner, I guess. So yeah, I already reacted to a few of the Templin Institute. I still have some left, like, you know, Emperor of Mankind by Templin Institute, Necrons and things like that. But I think tomorrow I'm gonna do the Lutin 09 Emperor of Man first part, which is 1.5 hours long. But I'm gonna do first part of that, I guess, because that would be in pretty damn detail. People are constantly telling me. So yeah, right now I was in a bit of hurry, so I can't do that. I can't spend half an hour, 45 minutes in that. So I'm like, what the hell not? Small Majorkill video. This was fun. A garden world, basically, you know, some of them are created by Eldars and basically left behind because we know why. And they basically took over these places, you know, and in that war and shit is not so common. And natives basically are, you know, zen and happy, let's just say. Maybe that's a stretch, but they're happy somewhat. So Imperium like, look at them, happy. They live in this garden world and they're happy. So maybe we should, you know, hire them as diplomats, because that makes sense, because everybody else that we have are fucking depressed because there's constant war. So yeah, this was fun. Alright people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe so I know which type of videos to react to more, I guess. And you'll be supporting my channel by subscribing, and you'll know when I upload next Warhammer video. Comment down if you want me to react to any specific video, and yeah, I'll see you next time.